Thank you, first of all, for the invitation. And please bear with me. I'm a very bad public speaker, and I hate speaking in public. So I hope I don't bore you. This project has made us question and face some issues that we have never faced, namely revenue generation. Two main reasons. First of all, we are a very small public institution. So our energy is to keep the ball rolling rather than trying to invent sources of revenue. Moreover, as being a public institution, and therefore our shareholders, government, and our costs are 100%, and the source of income is 100% public funds. And the financial regulations, at least in Malta, stipulate that even if departments were to make a profit, that profit cannot rest with the department or the agency, but it goes back to the consolidated fund. So there was not the energy nor the incentive to think about, and this to think about revenue generation. And this project has made us think about this thing, and I think we thought rather a lot. Revenue generation is a bit of a misnomer. We firmly believe that we can never be 100% self-sufficient. And I mean, the idea is not to cover the costs or to make some dividends to our shareholders. Even I don't know of any public institution except some exceptional cases, even La Scala, Milan. Without public subvention, it goes bankrupt. And even the Louvre, some 40% of the money of the Louvre is public finance. But anyway, I'll take you through this. The idea, I'm going to divide it as asked by Ivan, is to have the objectives, the activities, the findings, and the lessons learned. So what was the project? The project was the objectives to identify, and not just identify, but also analyze new business models, something that we have not been doing, therefore, to generate revenue that may be adopted. It's useless to have some pie in the sky thinking about something that then you cannot adopt. And the National Archives of Malta, which means that it's localized. I don't know if it's applicable to somewhere else, and to a public institution. This exercise was commissioned by the National Archives of Malta as part of our participation in this project. It was carried out by the Management Efficiency Unit within the Office of the Prime Minister. It's a management consultancy company. It's publicly owned, together with us, and it's a desktop research. So there have been interviews, but it's desktop that hasn't been tested on the ground. Analysis of the current activities and inherent revenue generation, some international practices, and also some internal brainstorming. We analyzed two possibilities to generate funds. One is to levy charges to public entities. We are a public entity who give also services to public entities. What about levying charges there? And also some new business models. The answer to the first question, our law was analyzed, and what came out was that the law considers the records life cycle as one continuum. I think this is, basic, but it's good that it's reflected in the law. And the law regulating the archives is based on this conceptual framework that records from inception up to when they end up in the archives or destroyed, they are regulated by the National Archives. So the archives is more than the custodian of archive documents. The archive has also an input and an exercise to carry out before the records come to the archive. And so this regulatory activity, it presents some opportunities for revenue generation with regards to the facilities where the documents are being created and kept, and to the practices. And there we can levy funds related to the compliance. We make audits, inspections, and certification, registration, the entry, the renewal, everything. With regards to the practitioners that are involved, the people creating and managing these records, even before they come to the archives, by providing accreditation, training, continuous professional development, and also by enforcement. These are possibilities. I'm not saying that these do exist, but these were identified as possible areas to generate revenue. Alternatively, there could be a fee structure, an annual fee structure that each department can pay so that its services are supported by the General Archives. The value of this approach of a fee structure, an annual fee structure, is because as it reduces the administrative burden and related complications, you know, departments don't pay, you have to chase them and so on, and doing away with the need of enacting subsidiary legislation, because these, in order to levy those levies that I mentioned, law has to be changed, at least in our situation. Now, the other one, business models. I will not bore you with details. I mean, you've been hearing, you hear a lot, but I will show you some of them which we identified. We try to identify those that don't need significant investment, internal investment. Otherwise, we end up paying more to earn less. That's a big danger. And doing away with our core business. We should select revenue streams that are aligned to the strategic and operational model that we are following. And these are some of the examples, you know, the areas, the target, and the program. We have the areas, advisory services. We can provide to private operators, business NGOs, families who have archives of their own. And then what we can provide, cataloging, preservation, good archiving practices, the training programs, and the target groups and the activities, storage services, target groups and activities. I will not go through them in detail, as you can notice them. Cultural tourism, the area, then creating niche tourist segments and the programs we can. Private funding, we can, that can be a source of also revenue, and examples of the activities. Research support services, those. Merchandising, lab services, conservation services, and partnership exhibitions. These are examples of revenue generating activities. Now, so the conclusion was that there is a scope for revenue generating business models, but we have to pay attention as to their price, because, as I said, I mean, we run the risk of spending more to earn something, and it will be a deficit. That's clear that these activities are not free. It's not a magic wand, okay, I make money. They don't work like this. So the need that they have these aligned to the strategic and operational models, and also that they will never make archives self-sustaining. It's an illusion, at least in our model. Okay, we have the pressure of having a leaner, smaller government. There are pressures for cost cutting, but at least in our part of the world, public services are never self-sustaining. So we're not like the States. Our hospitals never run profit, public hospitals. Our schools never run profit. But what's their value, therefore? And their value is here, I think, that they are as a tool of community engagement in our mission, which is, so revenue generation is a consequence rather than the goal, is a means rather than an end. That's our firm belief after going through this exercise. Thank you.